other people building successful careers or growing their own business and think, why can't I do the same? Or what am I doing wrong? Should I do something different? If you ever felt hopeless or felt a lack of purpose, don't worry, you're not alone. And this masterclass is for you. Hi, I'm Sara from Hodos Training, and I run my training and coaching business, and I've been doing so for nearly 2 years. And during those years, I've been frustrated countless times, and I made mistakes that I wish I didn't make. But I've decided to gather whatever I learned from my experience and record this masterclass to help you find a sense of purpose with your business and your career, produce more impactful results, stop self-sabotaging when you want to achieve something. So in this masterclass about goals, I will focus on mistakes you might be making, what is the real meaning of a successful business, how to set goals that are right for your business, and how to make your goals double smart. So are you ready? Let's start. Everybody knows what goals are, but if you don't do much about them or you hardly do anything to achieve them, of course you will be angry, frustrated, sad when you don't achieve them. The mistakes most entrepreneurs make, especially when they're just starting up with their business, is just think of a bunch of goals and hope that they will somehow happen one day, or not even think about goals. They just want to be successful, so they dream about becoming successful one day. Well, let me break it to you. No one is coming to magically give you what you want, and it's on you to make things happen. And if you don't know what you want from your business, how can it even happen? For instance, you can't just expect customers or clients to magically come to you, buy from you, or knock at your door. You need to do something to make your business grow. If you don't set goals or don't follow a structured method to achieve them, you'll simply be like a dog that is chasing its tail. So you're not going anywhere, but just going around in circles. So in this first section, we will see what are the most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when they don't set goals or don't set them right. So section number 1, mistakes you might be making. So in this section, I will talk about the most common mistakes that entrepreneurs make when it comes to goal setting. And if you're making these mistakes, it could be really costly to you. A big problem that can occur when you don't have goals or you don't have clear goals is that when things will start to get difficult, when you will find obstacles, you will easily lose your motivation because you don't see immediate results. And what happens is that you may quit, give up everything. So we will see 2 mistakes that you could be making if you're not setting goals, and 2 mistakes that you could be making if you're not setting clear goals. So the number 1 mistake when you don't have goals is procrastination, which means putting off work. And what type of work would you be putting off? Well, usually it's the most important tasks, the most important work, the work that really matter to your business and that could bring your company ahead. If you don't have goals, you will lack self-discipline and you will not be determined. And as a result, you will be really wasting precious time. Let me give you an example here. Imagine that as a trainer, I'd like to grow my online audience, which means that I have to post meaningful content on social media every week and maybe write a blog post every month and make sure that I email all of my contacts with my monthly newsletter and so on. But if I don't have a set goal, if I don't set a goal for what would be the number of audience that I aspire to reach or that I'd like to have by the end of the year? How can I reach my goal? And you may think, well, that's easy, Sara. If you want to grow your audience, then I'm sure you will do something about it. But it's not so easy. If I don't have a set goal, it will be very easy for me to procrastinate because I will get busy at times, or sometimes I will get tired. So maybe don't want to spend a few hours to write a blog post. I'd rather focus on easier tasks or easier jobs. And as you can see, that can lead to me postponing that blog post or postponing that social media content every week. The number 2 mistake that you could be making is trying to focus on too many things, as opposed to focus on the few things that really matter and could grow your business. What happens when you don't set goals is that your priorities would constantly change. This means that you will go after something new and exciting every time, or follow the latest trends, or maybe take advice that people are giving you, which doesn't mean that they're not giving you good advice, but it would mean that you would leave whatever you're doing and start to do whatever they're telling you to do, leaving whatever you started half done. Let me give you a real example here. So a friend of mine, which is a trainer as well, has the goal to grow his online presence. And as a result, is doing many webinars online or online courses, when my personal goal is to do more face-to-face training, which means that my strategy for finding new customers, clients, or finding work would be completely different from his strategy. And that's all because I have my own separate goal. Another mistake you could be making is to plunge into your business without a clear plan, which means you might tend to jump into the tasks that pop up each day without really thinking of how are you spending your time. I'm sure that you work really hard and you probably do long hours as well. So are you thinking hard enough of how are you currently spending your time? How are you choosing your daily tasks? Do you have goals for the next 6 months or this year? And do you have a plan on how are you going to break those goals down into daily tasks or weekly tasks? I'm sure that you want to achieve different things with your business. So it's important that you do spend some time to think about a plan so that you would know where to focus your efforts and your energy. Another mistake you could be making is setting unrealistic goals. And this is for your goals or for what you can deliver. So if you say, I'd like to reach 1 million followers on Instagram this year, this is great. But if you only have 500 followers right now, you can see that that's quite difficult to do by the end of the year. And if you don't reach 1 million followers, you will feel like a failure or will feel disappointed. The same goes for something that you can deliver. So if you say to a customer, I will deliver the finished product by the end of the week. And you say so because you want to make your customer happy. But if you realistically need 10 to 14 days to deliver it, what happens is that either you will end up postponing the delivery date, or you will end up delivering a product that is not really a good quality one. And this will make you look unprofessional and unreliable. Not being able to reach your goals or the desired outcome will often end up in disappointment, frustration. But now you know how these mistakes can slow you and your business down. And in the next section, we will see how to avoid them from happening. Welcome to section number 2, the real meaning of a successful business. So we've seen self-sabotaging behaviors are very common among entrepreneurs or solopreneurs, especially if they're facing challenges or daily pressure. But the problems are not the self-sabotaging behaviors per se, but the fact that they don't know that they are sabotaging themselves. In this section, we will see how a structured approach to goal setting can help you achieve your desired outcome through taking active steps. So I have a question for you. Thinking 5 years ahead, what does success look like? I want you to think, what would you like to achieve or do with your business within the next 5 years? So I'd like you to pause the masterclass and spend a few minutes to answer this question. And it's very important you do it now, because the time that you are investing right now will make the difference between a successful business and an unsuccessful one. So write a list of everything that comes to your mind. Do you have the list? Brilliant. It doesn't matter how long or how big the list is. We will see how to refine it together in the next section. So section number 3, how to set goals that are right for your business. So I'd like you to take the big list of goals that you just wrote. And now you will divide it into 3 different lists. So name your big list could do list, because those are all the goals, all the things that you could do to have a successful business within the next 5 years. Now I'd like you to write a second list and call it the should do list. So from your big list, select all of those goals that are for the long term. So for the next 2 to 5 years, and write them down in your should do list. Do you have your second list? Brilliant. Let's move on to the third and final list, which I'd like you to call the must-do list. Look at your could-do list, so the big list of all the goals, and select a few goals that you can put in your must-do list. And these are the goals that you need to achieve this year. What are you doing here? So here you're prioritizing and deciding what are the most doable and realistic goals for you this year, but also identifying what goals are essential this year for your business to move forward. They don't have to be many goals. Identify those 5 or 6 goals that if you wouldn't achieve this year, or you wouldn't achieve first, you wouldn't be able to achieve all the others. For instance, thinking of my business, in the first year in my must-do list, I put goals like deciding what subjects did I want to teach. So what courses I wanted to deliver. And then after that, another goal was starting to build my courses, or even just a draft of my courses. And then creating a website where people could see the courses that I was offering. So spend some time to write your should do and must do list. And in the next section, we'll see how to refine those list of goals even more. So welcome to section 4 of this masterclass, how to make your goals double SMART. Have you ever heard of SMART goals? These are 5 criteria that help you organize and refine your goals to achieve more powerful results. Because you will have clearer ideas, you will know where to focus your effort, and you will also know how to use your time wisely. So I will explain the classic SMART criteria, and then I will add my own SMART criteria to have the ultimate refined tools for your goals. So we'll start with the classic one. Let me explain you what the S is. So the S stands for specific, meaning that your goals should be clear and very precise. Let me give you an example of a goal. I'm going to write a book. That's not very specific. But if I say, I'm going to write a book of 250 pages about customer service best practices for a hotel. Well, that's more specific than the first goal. Or if I say, I want to start a business, that's not very specific. But if I say, I want to start a training business and I'm going to deliver courses about customer service to hotels, that's way more specific than the first goal. So to make your goal specific, you should answer questions like, what do I want to accomplish? Who is involved? The M stands for measurable. Having measurable goals is important. You can gradually see the progress that you're making. You can more easily meet deadlines, and you can also feel the excitement as you get closer to the end line. So a measurable goal should answer questions like, how many or how much? Or how will I know when it's accomplished? So to make my goal of writing a book measurable, I could say, I want to write 250 pages within 18 months. Or in regards to my training company, I can say when I officially register my company as a limited company. The A stands for achievable. Your goals also need to be realistic. So they need to be something that you can realistically achieve. To make your goals achievable, think about your financial situation or the time that you have available. Do you have enough time or enough money at the moment to achieve your goal? Your business needs to have realistic goals for it to be successful, which doesn't mean that these goals should be within your comfort zone. They should stretch your abilities, but still remain possible. An achievable goal will usually answer to these kind of questions. Can I accomplish this goal? Or how realistic is the goal based on some constraints, like the financial constraints or time constraints? So taking that book example, I could make it achievable by saying that I will write 1,600 words per week, which is about 3 to 4 pages a week. Or in regards to my business, I know that it is achievable because I have X amount of capital that I can invest to start my business. Now, the R stands for relevant. And this step is about ensuring that this goal matters to you. So think about the big picture. Why are you setting this goal for yourself or for your business? For a goal to be relevant, you should answer yes to these kind of questions. Does this seem worthwhile? Is this the right time? For instance, writing a book could be relevant to me if I always wanted to be a writer. But thinking about my business, if I want to start a business during my free time and I have young children, I need to think, is this the right time for me to start my business? Will I be able to find enough time to dedicate myself to it? Now, the fifth letter, which is the last criteria, is the T and stands for time bound, which means giving a deadline to your goal. And every goal you set will need a deadline. Making your goal time bound will avoid one of those mistakes that we've seen earlier on, which is jumping into tasks that pop up each day, because you will be more determined to achieve your long-term goal. Time-bound goals will usually answer questions like, when? What can I achieve 5 months or a year from now? And if your goal is pretty big, you can break it down into smaller goals and give to each smaller goal a milestone deadline. So thinking about that book that I want to write, I can say something like, I want to write 125 pages within the next 9 months, which is a kind of half-term deadline. Or I can say, I'd like to write 14 pages a month, and that's a smaller milestone. In this masterclass, we've seen some of the most common mistakes that entrepreneurs or solopreneurs make when they don't set goals or don't set them right. The real meaning of a successful business, how to set goals that are right for your business, and how to make them double smart. I just want to leave you with one last tip about goals, which is review your goals quarterly. So roughly every 3 months, have a look at your list of goals and ask yourself, am I making progress? Am I going in the right direction? Or should I make some little adjustment to my plans? This is something that I do, and it really helps me in staying on track. So thank you very much for joining this masterclass about goals. If you liked it and you found it useful and you want to see what other training courses I do, feel free to visit my website, hodostraining.com, where you can see the other subjects that I deliver and I focus on. And I'd like to stay in touch with you. So feel free to connect with me on social media. Here's the link to my LinkedIn profile. I'm quite active on social media where I do share business articles and business tips too. So do reach out and connect with me. Thank you very much. I hope to hear from you soon.